Hi, I'm Virginia, and I'm here today with my good friend Lisa. And she has agreed to do this interview for me. And we are talking today, Lisa, about middle-aged adults age 40 to 65. What age are you, Lisa?
I'm 47.
Okay. Middle-aged adults begin to start seeing some visible signs of aging in their middle-age years. And some of the studies that I have read about midlife shows that our metabolism slows down by a third from what it used to be. And of course, this causes weight gain. But with that being said, it also said that only about 20% of middle-aged adults actually exercise enough to control their weight. Another problem, physical problem that becomes apparent in middle age is that we start to see vision changes in our eyes. We might not be able to see that small print, or maybe at night we can't see things as well as we used to. And then also hearing loss is experienced by as many as 14% of people in their midlife ages. And the study I read said that was due to high levels of noise that they have experienced throughout their life. And this actually showed that more men experience this at a younger age, sometimes as early as in their 30s, than women. It doesn't become apparent until in their 50s. What are the visible signs of aging that you have noticed that are happening at this time in your life?
Well, obviously my hair has turned gray. And I would agree that I can't hear as well. And I have to wear contacts for distance and readers for close up. Stuff like that. You know, you get tired easier when you don't really want to, but stuff like that.
Okay. All right. According to the Center of Disease and Control, more than 600,000 people die a year for heart disease. And it also talked about how people in their midlife are higher risk for cancer. 8 to 9% of people in that age range are diagnosed with cancer. It talked about how that 360,000 deaths in 2013 were related to hypertension. Again, another physical problem that people in midlife seem to experience. And then the last thing that they were talking about was diabetes, and it said that 1 out of every 4 adults are diagnosed with diabetes. Does your family have hereditary heart problems, cancer, hypertension, diabetes, anything like that?
Yeah, my family, almost everyone on my maternal side has some type of either heart disease or hypertension or something like that. I lost my grandfather at 52 to a massive heart attack, so that's pretty young. Mm-hmm. My paternal grandmother had a stroke and died, and my paternal grandfather had cancer, and my father had cancer and passed. So yes, it's in my family.
Definitely in your family. Okay, are you aware of the signs and symptoms of those health problems? Were you ever around your family members when they were having some of these symptoms and signs that you would know what to look for in yourself?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I think, the more you are exposed to that, the more you realize it's maybe not just one thing that shows that, but there's multiple ways you could detect.
Yeah, good. All right. Okay, I read a study that was called the Seattle Longitudinal Study of Adult Intelligence, and it showed that middle-aged minds are actually at their highest level of intelligence during these years.
Woo!
Yeah. And they said that there's really no real answer other than they suspect just life experience has caused us to become so wise. But with that being said, even though our mind may be more intelligent, it does start to slow down. Remembering things, learning new information becomes harder. And so we need to remember as middle-aged adults to exercise our mind, and things that we can do that, of course, is learning a new skill. One thing I read said just simple tasks of doing things around the house, little chores and hobbies, can exercise your mind. The one that I found the most interesting, though, they said that exercises your mind is eating a healthy diet, exercising regularly, and having physical contact with another person. Always being around another person, not always being around them, but daily being around another person at some point to interact with them. And I did not realize that that was a good way to exercise your mind. Since entering this stage of your life, have you noticed any cognitive or intellectual decline in how you make decisions or remember things?
Remembering things sometimes is difficult. But there's ways to, I have to write everything down. So yeah, I've noticed, I have to make a list to go to the store, even if there's only 4 things. And, getting an answer from, my kids might ask me something and I'll give them an answer that's not really what they asked, but it's what I think is right. But yeah, I see a decline in all kinds of stuff. Memory, just trying to be in a conversation and you lose the word and you can't think of what is that word that I'm trying to think of, and it's just fun.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to shift gears just a little bit here and talk about relationships. The number of adults that remain single has dramatically risen over the years. Studies show that 25% of American households are single people. Since some are single by choice and others are still looking for the mate that they are hoping to find. And because I know that you have been married for many years. And so in reference to your husband, how has that relationship changed since entering this stage in your life?
I think things are much more mellow now than they have ever been. And it's kind of fun to just have the time for the two of us now that the kids are grown. And, it's kind of like, okay, now we get to do what we want to do. And the things that we want to do aren't the wild, crazy things that they used to be. So it's kind of fun to just, go on a ride together or go for a walk together or something. Something that's small, but it's still enjoyable.
Mm-hmm. And how about your relationship with your children? Has it changed now that they are grown and out of the house? Has that relationship changed for you?
Yeah. So I don't worry about what they're doing near as much as when they lived at home. So things are easier. I've heard people say that, they worry about them more, but I figure I've done my job, raising them while they were in the house. And now it's kind of, it's nice to just send them out in the world and be more of a friend than a parent. Of course, I'll always be their mom, but it's nice to just say, how was your day? And, hear what they're up to now instead of always knowing what they're up to.
Right. Okay, we're going to talk now a little bit about your job. A person may be at their peak in their job performance in midlife age. This is a time when many are experiencing a full career and are advancing maybe in their career. What is your career at this time?
I'm a program coordinator for a drug and alcohol prevention nonprofit.
Okay. Are you comfortable and content with this career?
I love my job. Yeah, I'm very content with it.
Good. Why are you comfortable with this job?
I get to do so many different things. I'm leading the Reno County Suicide Prevention Coalition. I get to go in and out of schools all day long. I don't have to sit behind a desk. I can be active and up and going, and I'm always meeting different people, and it's very relaxed.
Good. Do you want to advance or maybe change your career in the future, or is that not something that you're interested in right now?
Right now, I haven't thought about that. I'm really happy where I'm at. So I think for now I'm good.
Okay, we now know more about healthy living habits than we ever used to. We know that it's important to exercise and eat right, and that those two elements play a big part in the way our bodies age. What lifestyle changes have had a strong impact on your health status?
So I think when the kids were home, I was always making something to eat. I was always in the kitchen, whether it was for the kids or my husband, or we always had meals together. So it was like we always had meals, at home. Now I think we don't eat near like we used to when the kids were home. We don't eat as much or as often, I guess, and we don't eat as much. Like I'm not making huge meals anymore.
Right.
So, I think that probably has started changing the way that our bodies are too, because we're not always eating. Of course, we're not on the go like we were when the kids were around either, but
the healthier eating or not eating as big of portions or as huge meals, that does make a difference in our bodies. If you could change your choices from the past, what lifestyle choices would you change?
Oh boy. I probably would have been more active when the kids were little. It seemed like I was always doing things with them, doing things for them, and not really taking care of myself. And so that is probably the number one thing that I would change, is taking better care of myself rather than always worrying about what they've got going.
Okay. All right. Many times midlife can bring a new perspective to time and a sense of urgency in life. We feel like as midlife, when we reach midlife, sometimes people feel that they are maybe running out of time. They're starting to become more aware of what's happening in the present and not worrying so much of the future. As when we were young, we're always thinking of the future, And sometimes I think that midlife aged people start to feel like they're just running out of time. And this plays into the whole midlife crisis. They feel like they need to get things done that maybe they were putting off because they don't want to run out of time to do it. So do you predict that you will, or have you felt that you have ever experienced a midlife crisis?
I don't think that I've ever experienced a midlife crisis. I don't suppose that I ever will. But I do think, everyone used to tell you when you were little, the older you get, the faster time goes, which I do feel like that's true. And I have caught myself thinking, oh my word, I'm almost 50. That's halfway to 100, and I'm probably not going to live to 100. So I'm more than halfway done. So midlife crisis, no, I don't think that is something I will ever experience. But you are more conscious of,
Sure.
I've only got maybe this many years left.
Right. All right. Well, thank you so much, Lisa, for helping me out.
You're welcome.
Again, I am Virginia, and I was asked Lisa to come and help me with the interview regarding middle-aged adults ages 40 to 65.